Hello friends, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Let us start our new topic called components of an ESG grievance mechanism. Very important subject. This ESG grievance mechanism refers to the structured process and also the systems that organizations put in place to receive, handle, and also to resolve complaints and concerns related to environmental social governance issues. Establishing an effective grievance mechanism is essential for organizations committed to transparency, accountability, and responsible business practices. Here are certain key components and considerations for designing an ESG grievance mechanism. Let us discuss those components. So let us discuss the components one by one. First component is accessibility and transparency. We talk about the accessible channels, providing multiple channels for stakeholders to submit the grievances such as email addresses, dedicated email addresses, online forms, hotlines, or physical drop boxes. Also, we talk about the transparent procedures. So we need to clearly communicate how grievances will be received, assessed, and addressed. Also, we need to publish information about the mechanism's existence and availability to the stakeholders. The next component is responsiveness and timeliness. So prompt acknowledgements. So acknowledge the receipt of grievance promptly and inform stakeholders about the next steps in the process. Also timely resolution. So establish timelines for investigating and resolving the grievance to ensure timely response and actions. The next comes fairness and impartiality. In this we can talk about impartial handling of the grievances, ensure grievances are handled objectively and without bias, designate trained personnel or a grievance committee to manage the process fairly. Also importantly, confidentiality. We maintain confidentiality of the grievance information to protect the privacy, and safety also for the stakeholders involved. The next comes investigation and assessments. We need to have thorough investigation. So conduct this thorough investigation into grievances to understand the validity and root causes. Also gather relevant information and evidence to inform decision making. Then impact assessment is also important. Assess the potential impact of the grievance on the affected stakeholders and the organization's ESG performance. The next comes resolution and remediation. We need an action plan. So develop the action plans to address identified grievances, including remedial actions and preventive measures. So remedial actions and preventive measures. Then comes stakeholder engagement. Also for communicating the resolution process with the stakeholders. So engage with the stakeholders throughout the resolution process to seek their input, validate the findings, and ensure alignment with the expectations of the stakeholders actually. Then monitoring and evaluation. Implement mechanisms to monitor the implementation of the grievance resolution, and of course very important, track the progress over the time actually. Then feedback loops. Also establish feedback mechanism for stakeholders to provide input on the effectiveness of the grievance handling and improvements needed. And last one is learning and continuous improvement. Use the grievance outcomes as lesson learned, so learning opportunities to improve ESG practices, policies, and stakeholders relations, and integrate these lesson learned from grievances into organizational strategies and practices to prevent any future issues actually. The next comes example steps in any ESG grievance mechanism. What can be the example steps? First one is the submission. We talk about this stakeholders who are submitting grievances through designated channels like online portal or email. Then receipt and acknowledgement. Grievances are received and stakeholders are promptly acknowledged with a confirmation of the receipt. Then assessment of the grievances to determine their validity, urgency and potential impacts, basically the priority. And investigations. A thorough investigation is conducted involving the relevant departments or stakeholders. Then resolutions, as I said earlier, action plans are developed to address grievances, including corrective actions, remediations, and also any policy related changes. Then communications, we need to communicate all the findings and actions to all the stakeholders, but with transparently we need to communicate. Follow-ups, stakeholders are informed about the progress and outcomes with opportunities for feedback and follow-up. So implementing a robust ESG grievance mechanism demonstrates always organizational commitment to accountability, stakeholder engagement and sustainable business practices. It helps in building trust, mitigate risks and enhance overall ESG performance by addressing the concerns in transparent and responsible manner. Thank you very much, friends. Let us start our new topic.